joined by my co-host Gage Berdovich. This will be the Week 8 NFL Pick'em. Gage, hey, you got to be feeling pretty good this week, man, right?
Oh, great week. Steelers won. Pitt Panthers won. Went to a concert last night. I'm enjoying it right now.
Yeah, pretty good week overall. The Bengals got a win last week against the Browns. Deshaun Watson out for the year, which is probably a relief to Browns fans as they were kind of cheering.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, Myles Garrett didn't like it too well, but a good week overall. Should be a good week coming up too. But yeah.
Yeah. You just said, Myles Garrett not liking it. Myles, aren't you the one that took a helmet off a player and swung it at him on a primetime game? But you want to talk about how people don't want to treat each other nice. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that definitely did happen one time in a game.
I wouldn't know
Mason
what team
Rudolph
that was
hasn't been the
against or
same
anything.
since.
Yeah. Hey, he put up 10 points in the first half last week and then didn't show up, so.
More than what Will Levis would have done in that game, for sure.
Yeah. It would have been 10 points for the other team that would have been given to him.
Yeah. Last week in our pick'ems, week 7, I went 9-5, and you went 7-7. 500.
Respectable.
54-47 overall for me, 64-37 overall for you. So we're both, a couple weeks ago, I was sitting at 500, 37-37. Making some headway here, above 500, like well above 500. I could have an off week this week, and I still would be good. So let's hope that doesn't happen, though. But, if it does, still above.
I've been picking it up the past couple weeks. It's okay, get that cushion a little bit. You have a bad week or two. It's all right.
Yeah.
You're still above water, above that 500 water.
You can go and pick the Panthers, to win games here and there, and you'd be wrong and still be okay,
You don't think they'll win this week?
Oh, man. So Tampa Bay the other day, you want to talk about a team, the hatred on this show. Man, I was pulling for him.
I was too. And they had to go and screw it up. And it was like, 41 to 20 something, or 41 to a teens number at some point. And I looked back like 2 minutes. I'm like, 41-31. Oh my God, they've come alive recently. But now they're without, Mike Evans for at least probably 3 games. Chris Godwin, I think, out for the year. So Jalen McMillan and Sterling Shepard, y'all better pick it up a little bit.
Well, the hate's going to continue, I'm sure, on this podcast from at least one of us, especially after that. Man, last night,
There's been a running thing past couple weeks about guys on my team, being hurt fantasy-wise.
Uh-oh.
The same league, Mike Evans and Brandon Ayuk.
Oh.
So, I can't wait to see what happens this week.
Who do you have in your roster? Who you got in your lineup? Now?
Let's see. I think so. I've replaced those two. My starters are going to be Xavier Worthy and Brian Thomas Jr., which I think are still pretty good overall. But I have C.J. Stroud, Bijan Robinson, Alvin Kamara, who's questionable even after signing his contract extension. The 2 receivers, Travis Kelce, Dak Prescott, Chris Boswell, Bobby Wagner, Russell Wilson, J.K. Dobbins, Brian Robinson, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Mike Evans, who I really hate that he's out for 3 games instead of 4. Just throw him on the IR. Save me a spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm just, trying to get myself prepared to keep all those guys out of my bet slip this weekend. Because, injuries seem to happen when they're on your fantasy team. So I don't want to part
Either injuries or, C.J. Stroud throwing for 86 yards last week, no touchdowns, and they're still putting up 20-plus points.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's crazy.
You're at 20 points. How do you not even have triple-digit yards? What are you doing?
You're CJ Stroud, man. Don't you know this? Come on.
Apparently, he needs Nico Collins. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
it's
different without Nico Collins in there.
yeah. You would think it would be pretty similar. You still got Diggs, you got Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz, Joe Mixon, who's been catching a lot out of the backfield. Like, come on, man, get it together a little bit.
So there was a game last night. We usually record these on Thursdays, but Thursday Night Football, pretty good game for the most part. The Rams win at home 30-20 over the Vikings. And the Rams, like, here's Puka Nacua, and Matt Stafford's like, oh, well, yeah, I missed him. I'm going to throw to him like every play just about. Cooper Kupp's out here. Okay, we'll throw it to him a little bit. But, oh, wait, Nakua's open. He's got two guys on him. Let's throw to him. And I said, man, how do you not adjust over here, Vikings? Like, come on, Brian Flores. Make some adjustments here. But that play at the end, Sam Darnold, with the safety, clearly two referees right there. Yeah. And when the guy's face is turned this way and his body's still that way, that's a face mask all day, every day.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe Darnold is like, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe like supernatural. Maybe he can make his head spin around 360 and with ease.
It is Halloween time.
It is Halloween time, so maybe that's what the ref thought. I don't know. But for his post-game comments to be, oh, I didn't see that. Dude, it is 5 feet in front of you. I don't know how you can't. How can't you see this? I don't know.
Yeah. And, like, as soon as it happens, he's like, and I'm like, what? No, face mask. What are we doing? Wrong signal here.
Yeah, like, I was like, okay. Yeah, he just, broke his neck, maybe broke his back a little bit. It's clean.
Yeah, that's 2 straight losses for the Vikings. They were down 8 at that point, ball on their own 1. I don't know if they would have came down and scored. Maybe not, but they would have had an opportunity at least if that flag was called instead of the safety. But I mean, it wasn't.
Automatic first down, 15-yard penalty. Yeah. Momentum swing. I don't know if they had any timeouts at that point, but still,
they had over
them. So no timeouts. You still had over a minute though. You got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Aaron Jones was catching a lot too. So it's like you have a good opportunity.
Yeah, they could at least had a shot at it, but taken away. They've lost 2 in a row, and the Rams. If healthy, I mean, there was talks of trading Cooper Kupp earlier in the week. I don't know about that now. I mean, since they won, maybe those plans will change because you're still in that division now because, San Francisco's not looking the best right now.
Yeah.
But Seattle, okay.
Yeah, I mean, when those trade talks were, like, becoming rumors, I was like, I know the perfect team. That could use another wide receiver, has a little bit of cap room to play with, could restructure some contracts, and would be willing to give up a 2nd or 3rd round pick for Cooper. And then he goes out and scores a touchdown, 5 catches, 50-plus yards. I was like, never mind. That ain't happening. All right, cool.
Yeah, and, like, clearly right now he was Stafford's first option. But after last night, it's like it's clear it's Nakua's. Like, he's going to be on the limited snap count last night. It's what they said about Puka. And then he comes out, and it's like he played every play almost, seems like, on offense. I mean, he came out a few times, but Stafford was looking for him early and often. I don't know what kind of snap count he was on, but he was high.
I don't know, and he was looking for him early and often, except when it came to scoring touchdowns. Because Puka didn't get a touchdown. Yeah. It was Cooper, Kyren, and Demarcus Robinson with 2. So it's like, get it down there. We'll throw it to somebody else. It's fine.
Yeah, it's like, who had DeMarcus Robinson for 2 touchdowns in this game? Nobody.
Who had DeMarcus Robinson on their fantasy team? I don't know if anyone did.
Nobody. Yeah. Nobody did. But so that was last night's game. I mean, an entertaining game overall. And Sunday's games, here we go. We'll get into it right now. We'll start out Sunday afternoon. We have A good one here. The Jets travel to New England to face the Patriots. The Jets are a 7-point favorite. The over-under is 40.5. Gage, what do you think about these two teams in the NFC East?
So,
AFC East, sorry. Whew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. After playing the Jets last week, there's one thing I learned, and that's Aaron Rodgers is not the same Aaron Rodgers he used to be. Coming into the season, he wasn't known for really throwing picks a lot. He just threw 2 last week. I say he's had 1 in every game except maybe 1 game this season. He's just not looking the same. And I don't know if him and Devontae weren't on the same page or what was going on, because there wasn't even a real good connection between those two. And it's like, you guys played together for how many years? Why is there not? And Drake May for the Patriots. I know they lost last week, but he still put up pretty good numbers. So, 7-point favorites for the Jets. Let's get it out of the way early and take the underdog pick of the week. Give me the Patriots on this one. And, of course, being the underdog, they cover the spread as well.
Ooh, man. Already. First game of the week and rolling with the underdog. Man, you're starting out early, coming hot out of the gates.
Got to cook a little bit this week. Going 7-7 last week was not the move, and it wouldn't surprise me to see the Patriots go out and win this one. The Jets were held scoreless in the second half of the game against the Steelers last week. Patriots, I know they haven't really won a lot, but their defense has been on the field most of the time. Overall, they don't have that bad of a defense. Offensive-wise, Drake May proves, 2 games in a row, he can throw that thing downfield. Perfect spiral on a dot to his receivers. Rodgers, I don't know. I mean, the leading receiver, I think, was Breece Hall, which, he had that one play where he took a broken down check down. 3 Steelers ran into each other, and he took it down to like the 5. And that's how they ended up, getting one of their only touchdowns. But I don't know. I just got that feeling this week that New England's going to come out and win the divisional game.
So the first play of the game last week against Pittsburgh, Rodgers threw it right to Davante Adams. Very first play, trying to get it out of the way. He wanted to get it early. He wanted to get it going early. And it should have been an indication of how the rest of the game went, because that was not even close on that one there. Yeah. They couldn't get it going. Garrett Wilson had some pretty big plays, but Rodgers seemed kind of annoyed with Garrett Wilson throughout the game for whatever reason. Like, every time they'd show him, he'd just be like, looking at him like, a father disappointed in his son, Breece Hall, he had a really good game rushing the ball and receiving. And he has the last few weeks. The Jets, their defense, which is supposed to be their strong suit, gave up 37 to a returning Russell Wilson. Rodgers, he seems like he's a little banged up coming into this one, but I can't take the Pats here. The Jets – the Patriots won 1 game all year. We know who they beat. We got it. Yeah, I understand. But I think the Jets finally win a game since Salah's been fired against maybe one of the worst teams in the league. Like you said, Drake May's played decent so far in his couple of games, but I just don't think that they'll have anything for the Jets in this one. Give me the Jets, and I think it'll be close, though. I think it'll be about a 3-point game. They'll keep it close for a divisional game.
I think a good reason for Rodgers being kind of irritated with Garrett Wilson is that second interception that Rodgers had over the fingers of Beanie Bishop, off the chest of Garrett Wilson, and boop, right back into Beanie Bishop's hands, and it goes down to the 1, where Devontae actually saved the touchdown and flew like 5 yards to make the tackle.
Yeah, that was like his best play of the game right there. It was a tackle to save a touchdown. It wasn't on the offensive end.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they'll get it going a little bit this week. I don't know, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong, and Rodgers is old out there. He looks old.
Oh, yeah.
I just think that he's going to have at least a game or two where it's like, oh, yeah, he was pretty good. Maybe it's this week. The next 1:00 matchup, the Philadelphia Eagles travel to Cincinnati to face the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati's a 3-point favorite in this one. Gage, what do you think about this matchup here?
I think with the return of AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, it's going to be a lot better game than if this game was say 2 or 3 weeks ago. Both offenses seem to really got it going right now. The AJ Brown Jalen Hurts connection, and then Jamar Chase has returned to that favorite target of Joe Burrow's. They're connecting great. Defensive wise, both teams are kind of rubbish a little bit on the defensive side of things. Um, I'm you know podcast wise here. I'm gonna take the Bengals. I'm gonna do it for you. Give me the Bengals. Give me the points. But I think it's actually gonna be a really good game.
This game was originally scheduled for 4:25. It got flexed for the Bears Commanders. Maybe they're like, well, maybe we shouldn't have flexed now that, a certain quarterback's not playing for a certain team in that game. Crazy, though, if you would have told fans at the beginning of the season they're flexing the Bengals Eagles for the Bears Commanders. But That's where we're at. But both of these teams have kind of struggled so far this year. I mean, they haven't looked really good. Last week, Philly pounded the Giants, though. And Saquon's had a huge game against his old team, 176 yards, touchdown. A.J. Brown is back, and that's basically all Hurts threw to last week. He had 89 yards and a touchdown. Even your guy, Kenny Pickett, got on the field. The Bengals, on the other hand, they've won 3 in a row and haven't looked great for a whole game. The offense had some flashes. T. Higgins has really come on during this winning streak. He had a touchdown. So did Jamar. Defense has played better the last 2 weeks for sure. But I think that's got a lot to do with B.J. Hill and Sheldon Rankins being healthy again. I think this will be a good game too. With it being at home, of course, I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one. And I like them. I like a push on this one. I think it'll be a 3-point game. I think it's going to be close. Philly's getting back to the way they were, last year before Sirianni was yelling at fans. And Cincinnati's been playing good lately. Give me the Bengals. They're at home, but I like it to be close. But yeah, you're finally going with my team.
You had me worried. You had me worried for a second. I thought you were going to go with Philly. I was like, there's no way. The 1 week I go with Cincy, he's going to take the opposite.
Nah. It's not happening. The next game, we'll go to the AFC North matchup here. And the Baltimore Ravens travel to Cleveland to face the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore is an 8.5-point favorite. Gage, you like famous Jameis to pull off an upset here?
I love the fact that famous Jameis is just getting another shot. He literally has nothing to lose. He's just going to be out there slinging the thing. Just my worries, again, he has no receiver. And I think that really showed last week when Deshaun played a little bit. He got hurt. DTR got hurt. And then Jameis came in, finished out the game. But they really got nobody. Nick Chubb, I mean, he scored in his first game back. But he averaged 2 yards a carry or something ridiculous like that. It was not good. Ravens on the other side, they handled their business, we can say. Lamar threw for 5 touchdowns. He, in one game, threw for 1 less touchdown than what Patrick Mahomes has on the entire season. There's no way I can go with Cleveland in this one. I want Cleveland to win, just because, standings wise, but I can't pick them for sure. So give me Baltimore. Give me the points. I don't think it's even going to be a real close game.
So Jameis Winston, he'll get the start in this game, and he didn't look that bad in limited time. I mean, he was decent. I really don't know why he was the backup to DTR, because he's the better quarterback in that room, going on, even with Deshaun Watson being healthy. But obviously we know why Deshaun started. I mean, he's getting paid a lot. So, Jameis can be great and awful all in the same game. He is Mr. 30 for 30 for a reason. And I'm not talking about the ESPN documentary series. That's touchdown to interception ratio. Nick Chubb made his return last week, scored a touchdown. but didn't have a whole lot on the ground. Like you said, maybe 2 yards a carry. I think he'll get it a little bit more and more every week from here on out, just coming off of an injury, being off that long. Baltimore, on the other hand, just destroyed those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa made it closer than what it was. Lamar threw for 5 touchdowns. Derrick Henry broke off big runs.
Yeah.
That defense, though, it concerns me a little bit. It's not your typical Baltimore defense. But Cleveland's not going to have much for Baltimore in this. Give me Baltimore, and I think Baltimore covers that spread. It's Cleveland. Like, we can't go with Cleveland in this.
Did you see who Cleveland signed as their third quarterback?
I don't think I did.
He'll likely be backing up Jameis Winston. That's Bailey Zappi. They signed him off. I don't even know where from. I don't know if he was on the practice squad or what. But if DTR can't go this week, Bailey Zappi's going to be the backup to Jameis Winston.
Wow. Famous Jameis and Bailey Zappi. What a quarterback room, right? I mean,
imagine saying that a year ago. Like, oh yeah, next year Cleveland's quarterback room is going to be, I don't know, Jameis Winston, Bailey Zappi, DTR's hurt, Deshaun's hurt. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time for him. Like, huh?
And be like, wait, they didn't bring back Joe Flacco, who took him to the playoffs?
Yeah.
Like, no, they let him go. They didn't need him.
Yeah, they didn't offer him a contract. It's fine.
Yeah, they're 1-6 through 7 weeks with those quarterbacks. Imagine that.
Yeah.
The next matchup we have is the Tennessee Titans traveling to Detroit to face the Detroit Lions. Detroit is an 11-point favorite in this game. Cage, what do you think about this one here? Is this your second upset pick of the week?
I wish I could. I love Mason Rudolph. I want him to succeed, but Detroit's just been on fire. I mean, last week, beating off the Vikings for their first win. Jahmyr Gibbs scoring, twice, I believe, in that game, breaking off some pretty good runs in reserve with David Montgomery. However, I mean, Jameson Williams suspended 2 games for PED use. Is that going to impact a little bit? I don't know. They didn't really use him last week to beat Minnesota. The only thing that concerns me with Detroit is their defense. It's a little at times, and it was kind of shown last week, but it's Tennessee. Mason Rudolph is going to do what he can do, but he's at least better than Will Levis, but that also is not saying much. Tony Pollard, again, teams hone in on the run. You're not going to get much success. And they just traded away DeAndre Hopkins, so Tennessee, I think, is in tank mode right now. Give me the Lions. 11 points is a lot, but I think they cover. Give me the Lions. Give me the points.
Yeah, that 11 points is a lot in this game. But what else can you say about it? The Titans are awful. The Bills destroyed them 34-10 last week. They just traded D-Hop to the Chiefs because the Chiefs are, in desperate need of, some wins here. So, I mean, yeah, let's get them something else. Levis has been awful, so they made the change to Mason Rudolph. He's played better than Levis, like you said, but that's not saying a whole lot. It's really bad in Nashville right now. It's a dumpster fire down there. The Lions, on the other hand, are rolling after handing the Vikings their first loss of the season last week. Goff continues to be the most efficient quarterback in the league. Montgomery didn't have the best game at running back, but they do have another guy back there that had a pretty good game. 2 touchdowns, 150 total yards. Amon-Ra is still Mr. Consistent. Give me the Lions here, and give me the Lions. I agree with you. I think that they cover that spread. It's a huge spread, but I like them to cover it because, Tennessee's just not good. And, like you said, Detroit, they kind of worry you a little bit on defense a little bit, especially with Aiden Hutchinson not being back there. Mm-hmm. I don't think Jameson Williams will have that big of an impact on that offense because they have so many other weapons that they can utilize. He's a good deep threat, but, as long as Amon-Ra and Montgomery and Gibbs and Laporta and, all these other guys, what's that other I can't think of the other wide receiver caught a touchdown pass last week for 20-some yards. Raymond.
Khalif Raymond, yeah.
Yeah, Khalif Raymond. Everybody loves Raymond. But, yeah, so I don't think they're really missing. I mean, it's going to hurt to be without him for a little bit, but just on the deep shots. But, they'll be all right.
Yeah.
Especially this week. They'll definitely be all right. The next 1 o'clock matchup, the Arizona Cardinals travel to Miami to face the Miami Dolphins. Miami is a 4-point favorite in this one. Maybe because there's a certain player coming back this week. Gage, what do you think about this one here?
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, Tua's coming back. But, I mean, you've been out for a while. You've had these concussions. How much practice have you been able to get with your guys again, just to get on that same page? Tyreek and Jalen Waddle have both been quiet. The running game's actually not been bad for the most part while Tua's been hurt. I love the Cardinals, though. I love Kyler. I love Trey McBride. I love James Conner. The only thing that worries me is Call of Duty right now. I think Kyler, he has that thing where he plays a little too much. But I don't think it's going to matter. It's going to take a game or two, I think, for Tua to get back into it. I wouldn't really call this an upset because I would have called Arizona the favorites in this game. Give me the Cardinals. Give me the underdogs. Give me the points.
It would be interesting to see what the line would have been before Tua was announced to come back. I really didn't see it before that. The Cardinals coming off of their Monday night game, which was fine for what it was. I mean, it was nothing spectacular, the win over the Chargers. James Conner did have a huge game for Arizona. He led the team in rushing and receiving. But can we throw it to Marvin Harrison a little bit more? It's the same issue that Ohio State had last year. Yeah. And it was giving him the ball. I think you should maybe try to get it to him. I mean, I know they're covering him and he's a rookie and all this, but he's a freak athlete. He's going to go up. He'll get the ball. He'll find a way. He did before. Tua's back. Congratulations. I mean, he's a full participant in practice now. He's cleared. I don't know how long that'll be. If he can stay healthy, they'll be a better team. I don't think he'll be scrambling around so much like he was before. I think that may be gone from the game from him. Trying to play it a little safe. The Cardinals, I like the Cardinals here too. Tua is not that great of a quarterback, I don't think, to where Miami shouldn't be as horrible as they was without him. But they were. They're a whole different team without him out there. And, you wouldn't think one player would make that big of a difference. You got Tyreek and Waddle and, all the weapons that they got. You figure somebody. Was their backup quarterbacks just really that bad, or is Tua really that good? I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I'm like you. I think it'll take a few weeks before they get back up and going in this one. Yeah, I'm with you on this one, man. I thought we would differ maybe. But I like the Cardinals in this one too. I know it's Call of Duty's coming out real soon. So this may be the last week where we can get a good Kyler game before Call of Duty comes out. But I like the Cardinals in this one too. And an upset, it's considered an upset here. But I wouldn't think it would be an upset, but it is.
No, absolutely not. I mean, and you mentioned Marvin Harrison Jr. They pointed it out in the broadcast last week. He was one-on-one, like within the 10-yard line with a Chargers corner. Just throw it up to him. The guy's tall. He's a freak athlete. Instead, I mean, you still got a touchdown in this play, but instead you throw the out route to Greg Dortch and give him the touchdown. It's like, how about try to get your guy involved a little bit? Like, I can't imagine how, demoralizing it is for Marvin Harrison when he sees that. And Kyler doesn't even look his way.
That's like last year when he was at Ohio State with Kyle McCord. Like, that's probably the reason they ran Kyle McCord out of town was because he didn't utilize this freak athlete over here for Ohio State, And they're like, you can't find him. You got to get out of town. I mean, that's the best player on the field right there. And it's kind of the same way here. But I don't know. Maybe they'll throw it to him this week. The next matchup, the Atlanta Falcons travel to Tampa to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Atlanta's a 2.5-point favorite. Tampa Bay is coming off of a rough week. What do you think about it, Gage?
Rough week indeed for Tampa. I'm surprised it's only 2.5. I'm right off the rip. I'm going to go Atlanta on this one. Your top receivers for Tampa Bay are Jalen McMillan, who's a rookie, and Sterling Shepard, who's old. Like, I don't know how much you're going to be able to go with it. I did hear one of the running backs for Tampa Bay. I forget which one. I think it's Bucky Irving is expected to not play this week, so that's also another loss for him. But Atlanta, you got Bijan. He did great again last week. You still got Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, Ray McLeod. And Kirk, he's shown this year he can sling it a bit. So I'm going to go the Falcons, and I think they do cover.
Oh, man, those Tampa Bay Bucks. They started out on fire Monday night and cooled off really quick. Mike Evans got hurt early on. Chris Godwin with an absolutely gruesome injury in garbage time. Like, what are we doing here? Playing Chris Godwin, you're down 17 or whatever it was. There's not really a shot. You don't have much timeouts. There's a minute left, and you have him in there, and that happens. Just awful right there. Like, you pull your guys. Go ahead and pull them. The game's over. No need getting somebody hurt for that, especially in garbage time. Just awful. The Falcons have gotten Bijan going lately. Cousins has been good, but last week, man, the Seahawks destroyed Atlanta at home by 20. Even Michael Penix got in the game and got a little bit of playing time last week. That's how bad it was. But obviously, I'm taking the Falcons here. I'm not going with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's injuries are piling up fast, and Baker's trash. So give me the Falcons in this one, and give me the Falcons to cover. The next 1 o'clock matchup. The Green Bay Packers travel to Jacksonville to face the Jacksonville Jaguars. Green Bay is a 4-point favorite. Gage, what do you think about this one here? You like an upset here? A home upset?
No, absolutely not. I do got a little bit of bad news for Packers fans. Another league I'm in, I picked up Romeo Doubs, so be careful. He might get hurt. But yeah, I know Jacksonville picked up the win last week, but it's against the Patriots. I know I picked the Patriots earlier, but again, it's not that impressive. The Packers, Jordan Love's been on fire. He'll throw a lot of picks, but he'll also throw a lot of touchdowns and a lot of yards. If he would have played a full season the way he's played the past couple weeks, he could be on track to beat Jameis's 30-30 ratio record. But yeah, Jacksonville's just bad right now. Give me the Packers. Give me the points. You know, they're going to come in as the road favorites and take down the Jaguars.
Yeah, the Packers last week, they beat Houston. Pretty good game, at home. And I don't know. Like you said, Jordan Love, he's inconsistent. He looks really good and he looks really bad. Then you got on the other side there, you got Jacksonville, who, hey, we won a home game in London. Hey, second week in a row. Doug Peterson's flying home with us. He's going to stay on the team. He's going to stay the coach. Man, I like Jacksonville's still bad. I mean, they haven't got anything really going against a good team yet so far. They beat – who was they beat? They beat Indy and New England. That's it. That's all they've beaten so far.
Yeah, I think those are the only ones.
Yeah, that was it. But I like the Packers in this one as well, and I think Jacksonville will keep it close though. I think it'll be about a 3-point game. Jordan Love's going to make a mistake at some point in this time in this game to where Jacksonville will keep it close. But Jacksonville's defense still hasn't been that good this year, and the Packers have got a lot of weapons on offense. So, but just keep Romeo Doubs out of your bet slips. So there we go.
How ironic it was for the Packers to win with a walk-off field goal last week after all the kicking troubles they've had over the past season and a half. Brandon
Yeah.
McManus, my man, I think you found a home. Here you go.
They'll gladly have him up there now.
Oh, yeah.
The last 1 o'clock matchup, the Indianapolis Colts travel to Houston to face the Houston Texans. Houston is a 5-point favorite. Gage, what do you think about this one?
And I expect CJ Stroud to maybe tear his ACL this game a little bit. I don't know who the backup is, but he better get prepared. No, I think
Davis Mills.
Yeah, Davis Mills, long neck, boy. Yeah, get ready. Overall, you'll look at the score. It wasn't a bad game for the Texans, but stat-wise, it was last week. And Indy right now, with Anthony Richardson, they're just so bad. I don't know what's going on, but they need to figure something out. I don't know if that's bringing in somebody before the trade deadline. I don't know if that's going back to Joe Flacco and telling the young Richardson, hey, you're done for right now until you can, kind of put it back together. We'll try you again in 3 weeks or something like that. As of right now, I can't favor the Colts in almost any matchup. And I hate to say that. I think the Colts have a lot of things around them. Jonathan Taylor's good. Michael Pittman's good. They have a good core of guys, but I think the Texans will just bring a little too much for them. Give me the Texans. Give me the points.
Yeah, Houston last week, like you said, C.J. Stroud had like 86 yards passing. But a bright spot for him is Joe Mixon the last few weeks. He's come back and he's scoring touchdowns after touchdowns after touchdowns. Yeah. I mean, he's looked really good scoring touchdowns for him. C.J. Stroud just seems lost without Nico Collins out there for whatever reason. I mean, he's still got Diggs out there, and he's still got Tank Dell. I mean, he's still got Dalton Schultz. I mean, he's got weapons out there, but it's like, Nico Collins isn't here. He's lost. I don't know. Yep. The Colts, Anthony Richardson. I came on this podcast to the preview of this, and I talked so much trash about how Anthony Richardson wasn't good in college. He wasn't good last year until he got hurt. And then, he started out pretty good, and I'm like, oh, man, maybe I made a mistake. No, I don't think I did. I think it's coming back around now to where he is not as good as I thought he was at the beginning of the year, because I thought, well, maybe I was wrong. Well, maybe I'm right. Give me Houston in this one. I think Houston wins. I think Houston covers. As long as Anthony Richardson's the quarterback in Indy, I don't think they're going anywhere. He's not even the best option right now on that team. And it's old man Flacco. That's what we'll go with. Now we head to some 4 o'clock games. The New Orleans Saints travel to L.A. to face the L.A. Chargers. Chargers are a 7-point favorite. Gage, what do you think about the Saints in this one?
After last week's game, if you want to call it that, it was more of a beating. The Saints could not get anything going. They just extended Kamara 2 years, $24.5 million, but that's the only thing they have right now. Olave's hurt. Shaheed's done for the season. Derek Carr, I heard rumblings that he might be coming back either this week or next week, but nothing has been confirmed, at least for this week, so I don't know if he's going to play. So I'm going to say it is the great value Patrick Mahomes and Spencer Rattler that's going to be playing this week. Chargers side, they just lost to Arizona, did not score a touchdown, and it was all, Dicker the kicker as their entire offense. This is going to be a horrible game. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it, but I don't think the Saints come out with a win. I'm going to go with the Chargers. Give me the Chargers, give me the points, in what will be probably the boring game of the week.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I hear this game right here. Like, oh, man. I'm glad this isn't in a primetime spot right here. Last week, the Saints got beat down. Great value Patrick Mahomes, as we'll now refer to him as, got pulled in the fourth quarter because they were getting beat so bad last week. Just awful. Complete difference from the first 2 games of the year where they had 91 points in the first 2 weeks. And compare that to now where they're just awful to watch, not fun at all. Mm-hmm. And then the Chargers, talk about not fun to watch at all. Herbert threw for 339 yards, the most he's thrown for all year. but 15 points and all field goals. You got to score more than field goals in this league to win. Most times, I mean, occasionally you'll win. Commanders, but it doesn't happen too often. But man, I think that the Chargers will win this game, but I think that the Saints will keep it close and they'll cover, and it won't be a good game at all. It's going to be awful. But yeah, give me the Chargers. The next matchup I don't think will be awful. 4:05, the Buffalo Bills travel out west to face the Seattle Seahawks. Buffalo's a 3-point favorite. Gage, what do you think about this one?
Buffalo, they got out to a slow start last week, down 10-0, and then you just score 37 unanswered points. And the addition of Amari Cooper got his first touchdown as a Bill, so that was nice to kind of check that box off a little bit. Even if he did have to look at Keon Coleman and be like, "Hey, what am I running on this audible?" But hey, still scored a touchdown, still won the game. That offense looked a lot better, and I don't know if it's just because of the team that they were playing or if it had a lot to do with the addition of another wide receiver. Seahawks, on the other hand, they also looked great. Geno has those games. We talked about other quarterbacks that are good some weeks and bad some weeks. I think that is the epitome of Geno Smith in his entire career. But JSN, DK Metcalf, Kenneth Walker, Tyler Lockett, these are all great weapons you have around. Buffalo, they just seem to be too much of a powerhouse right now. Josh Allen still doesn't have any interceptions on the season, and I think he keeps it that way this week. Give me Buffalo to win this one, and give me the points.
Well, Buffalo, their opponent last week was Tennessee. So maybe that had a little bit to do with it. I don't know. We'll see. Seattle goes to Atlanta and puts a beat down on the Falcons. Absolutely beats them down. This week, Buffalo's got to travel all the way out there, deal with the 12th man in Seattle. Like you said, Geno's looked really good at times. Geno's looked really bad at times. And that's the way his career's been mostly. I like the home team in this one. I'm going Seahawks. Give me the Seahawks in this one. And what was the spread on this one again? It was Buffalo, wasn't it? Yeah, so I like Seahawks straight up.
Wow.
Money line them Seahawks. Yeah, so we differ here for maybe the first time today. Is it the first time?
I think it's the second time because I took the Patriots.
Second time. That's true, yeah. Second time. First time in a while, though.
Yeah.
We differ there, but yeah, give me Seahawks. Oh, man. The next 4:25 matchup. The Carolina Panthers travel to Denver to face the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos are a 10.5-point favorite.
Whoa.
Gage, what do you think about this one here? Bryce Young's back, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say Bryce Young's back. I don't know who the better quarterback was for this offense. Were they better under Andy or were they better under Bryce? They got a win under Andy. They definitely did. Mm-hmm. They didn't do anything else besides that, but they got a win under Andy. Yeah, they're just bad. Deontay Johnson wants out of there, which I can't blame him. I wish Pittsburgh could trade for him back, but there's that weird rule that you can't trade a player twice within the same organization. I don't know, within 2 years. Which I wish. Chuba Hubbard hasn't been horrible this season. He's been really one of the only bright spots in the Panthers offense, no matter who's under center. The other side, I usually make fun of Bo Nix. Bo Picks, and all that stuff. I can't call him that this week just because I don't think they'll lose. Broncos did have a wide receiver. I forget if it was yesterday night, some point, early morning. I don't know. Josh Reynolds gets shot back of the head and in the arm. I don't know how he can only be wounded if he's shot in the back of the head. So I guess he got really lucky on that. I think the Broncos would come out and lay about a 30-point beatdown onto the Panthers. Give me the Broncos. Give me the points. Who knows? Maybe Josh Reynolds will play and get 100 yards.
Maybe, but like you said, it's crazy. You get shot in the back of the head and you're just wounded. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
He's questionable. Questionable. Shot in the head? What? But the
Right.
Panthers, Andy Dalton, involved in a car wreck earlier in the week and, hurts his ankle. And that's why, he's out this week. And as they're rolling with Bryce Young, they didn't just voluntarily go with Bryce Young. They kind of didn't have much of a choice. Andy got a win, for him. He put up a lot of points against the Bengals when they played. Last week, the Commanders, without Jaden Daniels for most of that game, still hangs 40 on you. I mean, that's whoa. Marcus Mariota, comes in and looks pretty decent against the Panthers. So, the Panthers are a mess. They were the worst team last year. They're the worst team again this year. Denver, on the other hand, they've played pretty good lately. Like you said, Bo Picks at the beginning of the year and Bo Nix now. He's looking pretty good. He's not the best of the rookies, but he manages the game pretty decent. Fights with Sean Payton on the sidelines, got that fire going. I like Denver in this one. 10.5 is a lot, but Carolina's not very good. Give me Denver, and I think that they'll cover that. Man, that's
I gotta know what's been going through Bryce Young's head this week. He's like, man, the only reason I'm getting to start this week is because Andy got in a car crash. Like, man.
Yeah.
And then part of me is like, man, Bryce Young had to set that up because he just wants the spot back.
Yeah, he went and cut the brakes or something. He's like, I'm going to start this week. The next 425 matchup is an AFC West classic matchup, I guess you could call it. I don't know. Kansas City Chiefs travel to Vegas to face the Las Vegas Raiders. Kansas City's a 9.5-point favorite. Gage, how many picks will Patrick Mahomes throw this week?
With the way he's been going, probably one or two. He probably won't have any passing touchdowns. Last week, he overthrew Xavier Worthy. I don't know how you overthrow the fastest guy in combine history. So that's been kind of odd. It feels like in recent times, the Raiders have kind of had the Chiefs number a little bit. I don't think that'll be the case this week. I don't want the Chiefs to keep winning, but I highly doubt they take a loss this week. Vegas, you got Brock Bowers. It's really all you got. You traded away your best receiver in Devontae. You don't have much going for you. Your defense, honestly, not that bad. You got a couple good players in that defense, but it's not enough, I don't think. Give me the Chiefs. Give me the points. Should be a rather easy win for Kansas City, but again, you don't know with the way Mahomes has been playing this year.
Yeah, Kansas City's just, they're a defensive team this year by far. I mean, they play really good defense. Steve Spagnuolo is getting all kinds of camera time every time the Chiefs play now for whatever reason. Patrick Mahomes has struggled. 8 interceptions, 6 touchdowns. And people are like, yeah, Patrick Mahomes still an MVP candidate. Oh, he's not. Like, that's Lamar's, trophy right now. I mean, it really is. Unfortunate as that is. Yeah. But Chiefs make a deal this past week to get D-Hop from the Titans for basically nothing. Yeah. He's not the D-Hop he was a few years ago, but he's still a, really good receiver. And then on the other hand, Vegas, is great value Derek Carr starting? Or, I mean, who's starting this week for him? Do we even know? I mean, is it, him, Gardner Minshew? I mean, does it matter? I mean, like you said, they got Brock Bowers and not much of anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it matters. I think it's Gardner Minshew because I think O'Connell broke his finger or something like that.
Yeah, I think something like that.
It's crazy. I just Googled Raiders starting quarterback in the second article. Actually, the first 2 articles that pop up both talk about Desmond Ridder taking the starting job because they signed him off a practice squad. So
They did sign him off the Cardinals practice squad, so it may be Ritter time. Boy, talk about a good first start against that Chiefs defense. Give me the Chiefs in this one. I think that they'll cover. It's a 9.5 point spreads are outrageous, but give me the Chiefs in this one. I think that they cover, and it's bad for Vegas. It's really bad.
And we talked about the Cleveland quarterback room. This quarterback room, I think, is worse. Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, Desmond Ritter. Like, wow.
Yeah. Gives them a run for their money. The 425 game of the week, I guess, that was flexed into this spot. The Chicago Bears travel to face the Washington Commanders. Chicago's a 3-point favorite in this one. Commanders are without Jaden Daniels. Gage, what do you think? You like the road team, I guess.
Yeah. I was looking forward to this game until Jaden Daniels isn't going to play. I mean, Rookie of the Year versus Rookie of the Year candidates in this one. And now it's Caleb Williams and Marcus Mariota. Like you mentioned earlier, I'm sure the NFL is regretting flexing this game into this spot. I see no reason why the Bears should lose. I'm going to go with the Bears. Caleb Williams has been playing phenomenal. That entire team around him has been playing phenomenal. They're coming off a bye week, should be well rested. The Commanders just dropped 40 on the Panthers, but it's the Panthers. They got some injuries, Jaden Daniels being one of them. Brian Robinson for the Commanders has been pretty good. He scored a touchdown in almost, if not every single game this year so far. So that may help out a little bit, but I'm going to take Chicago in this one. Give me the Bears. Give me the points.
Yeah, Caleb Williams and them really getting it going now. The last game they played, that London game, they looked really good against Jacksonville. I mean, really good, putting up a lot of points. The Commanders, on the other hand, they could put up a lot of points as well. That was with Jaden Daniels. But wait, they put up a lot of points last week against the Panthers with Marcus Mariota. Jaden Daniels was hurt, but it was the Panthers, like you said. This week, the Bears are not the Panthers. The Bears are a lot better team. I think this is still going to be a close game, very close, even with Marcus Mariota. I like the Commanders in this one as the upset pick of the week for me. Give me the Washington Commanders and give me the upset. There we go. There is my upset pick of the week.
Yeah, they're going to come out and be like, oh, surprise, Jaden's playing. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I should have expected something to happen with that.
Yeah. The Sunday night matchup that's coming up that we have this week is, oh boy, yeah. Who do we have on the Sunday night matchup anyways? Let's see.
It is the Dallas Cowboys traveling to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. I don't know the spread of this one because I don't have it pulled up. But the 3-3 Cowboys coming off their bye week, taking on the Niners. Neither team has been good. I'm going to kind of take the role of the lead on this one. Brent, what are your thoughts on this week's matchup?
Both these teams have been playing terrible lately. The Dallas Cowboys, you just got pummeled last week, or week 4 last before you hit your bye week. 47-9 against Detroit. I know Detroit has been awesome, but you shouldn't get beat that bad at home, no matter who it is, too, especially if you're the Dallas Cowboys, right? I mean, come on. You paid Dak. You got CeeDee Lamb. You don't have a running back. Like Stephen A said, who is Rico Dowdle? Why do we have this guy as a running back? Why do we have Zeke Elliott? I get all that. 49ers, on the other hand, man, they got beat by the Chiefs last week, 28-18, and wasn't even really that close. They've lost a few games that they shouldn't have this year. They've got a roster that should be really good. They're a 4.5 point favorite in this one. I like. Oh man, this is a tough one. I like the Niners to win this, but I like Dallas to cover. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think either one of them are, I don't think either one of these teams is going to make the playoffs this year. I really don't. Not at this point in time. Brock Purdy has not been good this year.
No.
Brandon Ayuk is out for the season after paying him all that money you've paid him. Give me 49ers to win, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with you on this one. Like you said, Purdy's not been playing well, but neither has Dak. I mean, Dak has 1,600 yards, 8 touchdowns, 6 picks. Purdy, very similar, 1,800 yards, 9 touchdowns, 7 picks. The leading receiver for the Niners this year is Jawan Jennings, 404 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's going to have to, slide up again and try to take over for Ayuk. But he's questionable this week, along with Jordan Mason, who's been great out of the backfield for the Niners. George Kittle, also questionable. Deebo Samuel, questionable. Nick Bosa, questionable. So this entire team, all their star players, it feels like, is questionable. The Dallas side, Micah Parsons, the star defensive player, questionable. And Eric Kendricks as well is questionable. I don't know. I'm agreeing with you. I'm going to take the Niners, but I think Dallas covers. This is not, I don't think, going to be a good game at all. ESPN has a 67.5% for the Niners to win. I'm surprised it's not closer to 50-50. So give me the Niners, but give me Dallas to cover.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good Sunday night game, I don't think. Not like what they probably thought when the season started, but these teams are not what they should be.
No, not at all.
Now we head to Monday night. The New York Giants travel to Pittsburgh to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh is a 6-point favorite. Gage, this is your team. Another primetime slot for them.
Mm-hmm.
How you feel about it?
Yeah, they proved me wrong last week with Russ. We were talking about it a little bit before the show. Russ looked great. He was after. Sorry, let me rephrase. After the first 2 drives, Russ looked great. I don't know his numbers off the top of my head for last week's game, but a lot of his yards were, hey, Pickens is down there. Let me just throw it up and see what happens. And Pickens is probably the best contested ball catcher in the league. I don't know how he was making some of those catches that he did. He had the one-handed grab in coverage. I believe it was on the left-hand side of the field. And then the other one where Russ underthrew him by like a yard. It bounced off the defender. Pickens caught it. Pickens fumbled. Pickens re-caught it, and then fell forward for like 3 or 4 yards.
Yes.
And the running game, Najee, he's been incredible the last 2 weeks. Jaylen Warren picked it up a little bit, and Cordero Patterson's expected to come back this week. So that should be another good boost for them. Defensive-wise, there's a couple injuries, nothing minor, or I should say nothing major. We don't want everything to be major. No minor injuries, and the Giants are just a bad team. But I said it to my dad last week after the win. I was like, they dropped 30 points back-to-back weeks. When was the last time we saw this? Is this a trap game for the Steelers? Because it absolutely feels like it is. And I hate that. Going into the bye week after this week, you're going to start one of the toughest schedules in the NFL after that. You got the Commanders, the Ravens, the Browns, the Bengals, the Browns, the Eagles, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bengals. That's a tough schedule to end the year on. They got to get a win here. I think they do it. It's at home. It's in prime time. Steelers Nation's going to be out there. Renegade in the fourth quarter. Give me the Steelers. Give me the points.
Yeah, so Pittsburgh last week looked really good with Russell Wilson. He played a lot better than both of us thought. We both thought that they should not have made the quarterback change this early in the season with Fields playing the way he did. Even Fields in the game, they showed him on the sidelines the first quarter. He's helmet on, straps on. I was like, oh, okay. Second quarter, helmet on, straps loose. Okay. Third quarter, helmet on, straps loose. Mid-third quarter, helmet off, jacket on. I'm sitting out this game. There's no chance of me playing, basically. But, I mean, like you said, Najee Harris had over 100 yards last week. Pickens had over 100 yards. They look good on offense. I mean, they looked really good on offense. And defensively, I mean, they picked Rodgers off several times. This week, they've got a worst quarterback that they're going against. The Giants, man, they had 10 points the last 2 weeks combined. Just got beat down last week by the rival, the Eagles. And in that game, Drew Lock gets a little bit of playing time in the fourth quarter. That shows you how that went. I didn't even know Drew Lock was still playing anywhere. He's in New York. I like Pittsburgh in this. I like Pittsburgh to cover. I think Pittsburgh's going to win pretty big. Is Malik Neighbors, is he playing this week coming up? I think he played last week, so yeah, he should be available. But it didn't matter. I mean, I think that, they'll pretty much keep him contained. But yeah, give me Pittsburgh in this one, man, and I think that they'll win pretty easily.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors is expected to play. The one big key part for the Giants, Dexter Lawrence, is questionable. So, for all intensive purposes, let's hope he doesn't play this week. Steelers side, Roman Wilson is questionable. I don't know if this guy's ever going to play. He took a couple snaps like 2 weeks ago. I don't know if he had any snaps last week. We need another receiver out there, so I don't know why he's not getting any playing time, or if this kid's really just as injury prone as it seems it is. But it was nice. You got Van Jefferson, his first touchdown of the year. So you have your number one with Pickens, and then you have this group over here that's like, yeah, we can be a number two for a game or so. And those people, Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin, I would like to include Roman Wilson, but I can't on that one. Deshaun Elliott, though, safety for the Steelers, questionable. That's a big one. If he doesn't play, I think it's Terrell Edmonds again who steps in to the safety role there in Pittsburgh.
Right now, your second wide receiver is probably your tight end, Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So you like you said, you do need somebody to step up and be that number two receiver, but I don't know. But yeah, that's it for the picks this week. So who do you have in the World Series, Gage? Since it starts tonight, who you picking? If we're picking the World Series, who you got?
I want the Dodgers to win, and let me explain. I have no problems with anyone on that Dodgers team. I like them all. There's several former Pirates on that team. I want them to win. The Yankees, I can't stand the Yankees. Maybe it's because they have 20-plus championships. Maybe it's because I have family members of mine that are Yankees fans and I hate them for it. Maybe it's, Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. Their egos is what I think I hate about them. I don't like it at all. But the first game tonight, Garrett Cole getting the starting nod for the Yankees is a big momentum shift, no matter which way it goes. So if Garrett Cole's able to dominate, Yankees take down game one, it kind of raises the red alarms, the red flags for the Dodgers. However, if they're able to get to Garrett Cole early, get him out of the game, that could set the tone for the entire series. I want the Dodgers to win. I think if we're going to make a game prediction, I'll go Dodgers in let's go Dodgers in 6.
That you read my mind. That's exactly what I was going to say. I've got the Dodgers in 6 here. I'm not really a big fan of either team. I mean, both teams, big market teams. But the Yankees, man, 27 World Series, you've had enough. Okay, that's enough for a long time.
Yeah,
you won your last one 15 years ago, and you still have 27. Let's cool it with the championship stuff here, okay? Let's have the Dodgers win one here again. They won the COVID year, but this one here, with Shohei and all them. Do you think Shohei will pitch any in this series?
I don't think so. I think they're just going to do what he's done.
There'd be some sort of history if he did.
It would be. I don't know. I could see them doing it. Just, giving them an inning. Even, you're up big or you're down big in a game. But I'm not, they're not going to say, oh, Ohtani's the starting pitcher or Ohtani's coming out of the bullpen. They're not going to do that. But if they're up big, down big, I could see them giving him, a 20 pitch count limit or something like that.
Yeah, obviously, I wouldn't think that they would start him. I mean, he hasn't pitched all year long, and there's no reason to start him in the World Series. But
No.
to get him a little bit of run, like you said, maybe a big lead or something, maybe throw him in there just for some sort of history purposes. I mean, there's been history all over sports world this week, with the first father son duo in the NBA.
Yeah.
Because that was well earned. But maybe some more history in the World Series. We'll see. But yeah.
Yeah, and then the Dodgers,
Oh
I'm
man.
out of all the pitchers they could have picked to start game one, I'm surprised they go with Flaherty.
Flaherty.
I
Yeah.
mean Tyler.
I thought maybe Yamamoto.
That's what I was thinking. Yamamoto get game one and then go from there and see how it goes. So I don't know exactly
Yeah.
what the thinking is on that part.
I don't know. Dave Roberts gets paid pretty well, I guess, to come up with those decisions. So we'll see if it pans out for him. But I mean, you probably want to pitch one of your better ones against Garrett Cole because they're pitching their ace.
Yeah.
I don't see why you wouldn't.
It doesn't make any sense.
But it should be a good series either way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even with that, the Dodgers are still predicted to win, according to ESPN Analytics, game one here. So maybe they know something we don't. I don't really know.
Maybe so. Maybe they know that Puka Nakua was supposed to play last night when nobody else did. But hey, it is what it is.
I thought I read the other day. I thought it was pretty cool. Relief pitcher for the Dodgers, Brent Honeywell Jr. Used to play with the Pirates this year. Didn't do really good. Got released. Now he's in the World Series. Imagine that. But he became the first pitcher in baseball history to use the screwball in postseason action.
Oh, wow. So
Didn't know that.
So you're
Something you
talking
don't
about
need to
former
know, but
pirate there. Yeah, it's one of those things.
yeah.
So you were talking about a former pirate playing for the Dodgers, released. The Reds have a former Red playing pretty significant time for the Yankees in Luke Dreamweaver, who
Yep.
did absolutely nothing when he was here in Cincinnati, and now he's like the closer for the Yankees. Man, makes you sick.
Isn't it crazy how that just works out?
Yeah, it is. Doesn't do anything here, and he goes up there and is like, "Hey, look at me now.
Yeah.
I'm Luke Weaver." Whatever.
Hey, if we're gonna, continue with that,
that'll.
if we're just gonna continue with that, the ace for the Yankees, Garrett Cole, where did he start his career off at?
Yeah.
Maybe Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Pittsburgh's got a lot of those guys out there, though, to be fair. I mean, they're like, you see like a couple of superstars or 5 or 6 superstars, like, where did that guy come from? Oh, he started in Pittsburgh. Oh, really? I don't really remember him in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, not many people do.
We know him now, Yeah. Well, that'll do it for our picks this week and our baseball pick. And we'll see how we are next week because they'll still be playing. And we'll see if we can stay at least above 500 this week. We went pretty close to the same picks, so we'll see how all that goes. Maybe you're playing defense. I don't know, Gage. But you're picking first, so you can't really be playing defense, I don't guess.
Hey, just try to keep above that 500 water.
That's what I'm trying to do. And we'll see you all next week. Later.
Later.